Hi. Well, we have mentioned that there's a bad prospect in Turkey about the economy. The Turkish lira has been fluctuating between 7.25 Turkish liras and 7.00 Turkish liras. At this moment, it was in the early in the morning 7.07. Reuters claims that the Central Bank of Turkey hasn't got cash to regulate the fluctuations against the US dollars. And due to that, the investors abroad, especially, are trying to manipulate the market for their own benefits. The Turkish central banks have penalized three banks due to the illegal process applications or the manipulations. But on Sunday, they have lifted all the restrictions, so now they can again operate safely. And while we are looking at the economy, we see how President Erdogan's situation has been deteriorated due to the economy. At this moment, he and his party elites are aware that they don't have many options to play with the economy in terms of economic powers. Therefore, he has to concentrate on other issues in order to distract the public opinion on economy. And there is only one thing left, is nationalism. And he needs the nationalists and the conservatives public in order to accumulate the votes around his party. So in any snap elections or the elections during 2023, he can ensure that he is going to remain in the power. So how he can do that? Now, in order to do that, he has a very acceptable, or I will say a very reasonable item in his hands. It's national security. The developments abroad, but neighbor to Turkey, have been deteriorating a lot. The United States is telling that they are going to train 10,000 Kurdish forces in the northern Syria or northern Iraq so that they can continue their fight against ISIS. Okay, I'm going to just make a question mark, and which ISIS are you implying to? There is no ISIS there anymore. This gives an inspiration that within 5 years, maybe to 10 years time, because this kind of force, like 10,000 numbers, might take ideally 2 years to educate or to train. But if you speed up or expedite this, it might take 9 months to 1 year, top. But even though it will take, it needs time to operate and train and come to a certain level. And so 5 years to 4 years will be enough at most for this. So within 5 years to 4 years, the northern Iraq or the Kurdish or the Kurdistan over there will be ready to defend their borders. And they don't need Iraqi forces for that. So that tells that there is a risk for Turkey that they might see an uprising by the Kurdish authorities against Iraq in order for their independence. And now they might have this because they have I will say a regiment or an army to defend their borders. And we know what's going on in Syria and also in Libya. In Libya now, the war against Haftar, which is backed by Saudi, UAE, Egypt, Greece, Italy, and moreover Russian forces. Now the Turkish-backed forces are gaining territory. The land between the Tripoli and Tunis have been secured. The Weida airport have been taken. This is going to add additional 200 kilometers of secure zone because the Turkish drone, I will say, length of, the flying zone is around 200 kilometers. So we will only consider that this zone will be much more secure than the others, and beyond, let's say. And therefore, the structure of the warfare will change there. Now we will see more intensified fights to the other parts, to the, I will say, the eastern part of Libya, on the shoreline, of course. And there again, President Erdogan has the nationalist narratives to use. So by using these national security narratives, he would intend to distract the public opinions from economy to national security, so he can ensure that the public accumulates around his party and his views, his narratives. So he might ensure to stay in the power in any coming snap election and or normal election in 2023. That's why we would expect to see more nationalist narratives in Turkey in coming weeks, especially after Ramadan, which would enable AKP and President Erdogan to distract the public opinions from the economy. This is the only tool that he has left at this moment. Really, he doesn't have the economic, I will say, tool to fight with this fluctuation of Turkish Lira against US dollars. We do not foresee still any change that President Erdogan will remain still in the office in any kind of snap election and or normal election. There is one point that we need to also tell it. We do not foresee that any opposition party would like to replace President Erdogan. The main reason is that because most of the opposition party elites think that all these things that has happened till now are due to AKP own fault. And if they are going to take the responsibility and take the administration of Turkey before any collapse, and this collapse would eventually happen, they can't correct it. And all the faults then will be on them. Therefore, they intend to wait the collapse of the Turkish economy, and then they would like to ask for a snap election or to change the administration. Before that, they will not call for a really early election. Not because they can't win. In our projection also, we do not believe they can, but also they don't want to. Genuinely, they don't want to. They might talk, you can hear this and that, but they genuinely don't want this. So this is very important, and we should also remember that the US is going to withdraw from Middle East. This is going to create a power vacuum in the region. Turkey will be forced to fill this power vacuum because of the national security. And by the way, it's a very natural instinct that Turkey is going to show, and they will. So really, we are expecting also due to that reason that the nationalist narratives will increase in coming days or weeks at most. And there is not much for President Erdogan to do with the economic agenda. We will see more national narratives arising in coming days. If you like this video, please press like button underneath the screen and also the bell ring, so you can subscribe to our channel and hear the first from us. Thank you very much for watching, and be safe over there. Bye.